To everyone. I am Daniel here in West Los Angeles, global banker, and excited to be participating and moderating this class for Brittany. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. And I just recorded. We started recording.
You are awesome. Thank you for remembering that because I always forget and people are always like, did you record it? And I'm like, well, we can record what we're talking about now.
Got you covered.
All right. So if you've been in any of my classes, you know that I like to joke. I'm funny, or I think I'm funny. I try to be funny, so it keeps it lighthearted and we keep it moving. I am from California, so I talk fast, so I will try to talk very slow and concise. But to Daniel's point, he just hit the recording button, so this will be recorded, so you can watch the replay if you'd like. Or if you have any questions, again, put them in the chat or raise your hand. So without further ado, I'm actually going to share my screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation prepared. Daniel, if you could tell me when you can see my screen, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely. Confirming I can see your screen.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. All right, so hopefully you're in the right place. Today we're going to be talking about Moxi Engage 101. So this is the first class of a two-part series that we offer here. We have Moxi Engage 101 that's going to talk about how to set up Engage, and we're going to get into some of the features of Engage. And then there is a class called Moxi 2, I think it's 102, that follows this class that goes more in depth into like campaigns, how to set people up. So just keep that in mind. We're probably not going to get to like setting up campaigns and things like that. We're going to get to a higher level of Moxi Engage. So let's talk about the value proposition for Moxi Engage. So it's a contact management system. We call those the CRMs. It helps you with email marketing. It's got MLS integration. It's got goal setting and task recommendations. So if you've been with us for a little while, you know that we have just sort of transitioned over from InTouch to Moxi. Some of you guys may still have InTouch. Maybe you're on this call because your InTouch subscription is coming up and you need to decide, am I going to jump ship and go to Moxi Engage, or am I going to stay with InTouch? So when they talked about doing Moxi, the reasons why they really wanted to create something so great for their agents were this list, right? We wanted a place where you could put all of your contacts in one place, where you could set up email marketing campaigns easily and have good ones going out. It integrates with our MLS system so that you can have your properties featured. And it helps you with goal setting. So if you've been in Moxi at all, you realize that everything is pretty goal driven. I'm a very ROI person. I don't do anything unless it yields results. So this is a really great example of a CRM that I love because it does. It shows me those results. It shows me how to change those results, and it shows me how to pivot. We've got task recommendations. So it'll tell you recommendations as you start to categorize your individuals. I am hearing a little background noise, so if you're not asking a question, if you could put yourself on mute, that would be awesome. So you got tax recommendations, so I will talk through that later. But that is why we have Moxi Engage. Moving forward to benefits. So we can set goals as a go-getter. So it allows you to set goals, achieve goals, right? In real estate, we're all about goals, hitting our goals. You should be doing your business planning right now with your manager and your field staff, your marketing plan, as well as your business plan. So we're always trying to attain those goals. And if you're trying to get an award, you're attaining goals. So this helps you kind of track that. You can start your day CB strong. What that means is you're going to log on to Moxi Engage every single day. It's going to have some really great benefits that you're going to want to log on every day because it's going to give you some people that you should reach out to. And then you're going to delight your clients with your personality and some mixed media campaigns that we already have created for you. So how will that help your business, right? So email marketing is super imperative to stay in front of your business and branding. So the agenda for today is going to be your desk profile and collaboration. So we're going to talk about your desk profile, why it's so important and imperative that you have that completely filled out and what that's going to do for you. We're going to talk about the initial setup and sync for Moxi Engage. We're going to talk about your stay and flow. I'm going to give you a little tour of that. We're going to talk about your sphere of influence and why it's so important to stay in your sphere of influence and have them in your CRM. And then what you're going to want to do after this class is go ahead to the Learning Center and sign up for Moxi 102 and get that class under your belt so that you're really got a good overview of Moxi. And then just remember your field staff is always available. You have one of me in your metros. You might have two of me in your metros that you can reach out to that would be happy to sit down with you with a one-on-one if you have any further questions or you're stuck or you want to talk more into Moxi at all. So it's super important that we talk about your desk profile manager because this is where Moxi feeds its information in. So where is this found, Brittany? So when you log on to mycbdesk.com, at the top right-hand corner, and I'll go live and I'll show you guys this too. We're going to go through my deck and then I will go live. But at the top right-hand corner of desk, there's a little bubble. If you've not uploaded your profile picture, it might look like a grayed out figure of a person. If you have uploaded your picture, it'll be your picture at the top right. You're going to want to click on the picture and click on my profile, and it's going to drop you into what it looks like right here, the About Me. Since we have done this slide deck, they've made some improvements, and they're always going to continue to make improvements. Just an FYI, Moxi's ever evolving. They're still taking feedback from the field team, from y'all. They want to hear what's missing in Moxi, if there is something missing, or if there's something not working. So they're consistently trying to update it and make it better. And one of the things that a lot of agents were asking for was their logos that they've been getting from Design Concierge are not loading into Moxi correctly. So if you click on your desk profile and my profile, you can see it's going to look a little different right here. You're seeing Ryan Gorman's picture here, but you're going to have a couple more options now to upload your personal logo for your marketing materials. So you can add that and it'll streamline onto your items. You're going to want to make sure all your information is filled out. You are going to see some fields that are locked. It's going to have a little padlock next to it. And what that means is you can't edit that. If you need to edit it, if you get married or your name changes or it's misspelled, for goodness sake, you're going to want to get with your field admin team in your office, so your SSA. They'll be able to help you with that locked field. That's going to be them entering in a ticket through Trident to get that fixed. So if you need to fix anything that's locked, just know it's not forever going to be locked. We can actually help you do that. You can add your bio in here, any specializations that you do, and then also like any designations that you've gotten. So if you've taken any designation classes, you can talk about that. You can see it's really small. And like I said, we're going to go live, but there's a couple more tabs under here, not just the About Me, but there's the contact info, the office, social, and you might have a leads one too. You're going to want to toggle back and forth through these and make sure all of these are filled out to completion, especially the social. The social, you can add all of your social media links that will flow right into your Moxi website. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to go grab your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, and add those all in here. Make sure you save changes every time you edit this desk profile. That way that they're 100% saved. And just keep in mind that it sometimes takes 24/7 for it to load here. So if you're not seeing the changes reflect right away in your Moxi, it could just be because it's taking it a little while for it to catch up. So, all right, desk profile manager. So you can kind of see it toggled over here to social and leads. So that's where you can put all your social media links. You're going to want to put your website there too. We're going to talk about website here in a minute. But if you haven't already gotten a vanity domain, you haven't gone to GoDaddy and bought yourself a vanity domain, I highly suggest you do that. You should want a domain that kind of follows you with your brand. The one that they give you on Moxi is just not sexy, right? It's long, doesn't fit on a lot of business cards. We want something that kind of screams you. So you would want to buy one of those too. That way you don't have this long-winded URL to give out to clients. So that's going to go in the social part as well as all your social media tabs. And recently they have added TikTok. So if you're a big TikTok star, you can go ahead and add that there. The step 4, which is the leads, it's going to ask you to update your CRM. So if you are someone that had In Touch before you've migrated over to Moxi, you are going to want to update your CRM to Moxi Works from In Touch. So just so you know, you want to do that. And then just make sure that these times are okay for you to receive leads. There's some agents that are like, I'm not answering my phone before 5 a.m. or whatever, or after 10 p.m. on Friday through Saturday, whatever it is. You want to go in there and update that so that we know we can contact you at those specific times. There's also a vacation mode. So if you're that type of person that likes to unplug completely and you don't want leads funneled through you, you can turn on vacation mode. I don't know one agent that I've ever met in my entire life that has actually taken a vacation and not gotten busier, but maybe you're that person. So go in there and make sure that you've gone through all of these steps in your desk profile. It's super important that these are all up to date. And if you get like an updated headshot, you can always come in here and update that. I highly recommend if you haven't had an updated headshot within a year, please, please, please get an updated headshot. We change differently. Every year we change a little bit. I think you can go 2 years, but you don't want someone to meet you and say, "Ooh, that you do not look like your picture there." I can't tell you how many people I've met. I've looked at their picture. I'm like, that is not the same person. There's no way. So just keep that in mind. So collaboration. So if you are working with somebody, maybe like a assistant, or you're working with a transaction manager or a team, there is a way for you to collaborate in your Moxi. So I just switched gears. That slide was not very clear, but we're moving now from CB Desk, and now we're looking at Moxi. So this is the screen that you would see if you clicked on MoxiWorks tile. It drops you into your profile, or what they call your roster. So this is what we would see if we clicked on MoxiWorks tile on mycbdesk.com. On the left-hand side, there is a tab that's called Account Settings, and you can actually give people access. So for instance, who would you want to give access to your account? Maybe if you were on a team, maybe if you're a husband and wife team, maybe you want to give it to your field marketing team to help you. There's a lot of times that I meet with people virtually and they can give me their access to their account, and I can pull it up and share my screen and kind of ghost as them and help them along. Another great person that you might want to give access to is your SSA, for them to help you as well. So just know that you have the ability to collaborate. So sometimes to do the best work, we need to access someone else's MoxiWorks account. We may be in an assistant or a team, but the information we might need in a person's account. So it's really great when your field marketing team have that access to your account, because if you have a question, we can go in there and investigate. We can also place tickets for you and things like that. So if you have a field marketing specialist that you work with, this is a great thing to do, is add them to your account. Make sure that it's okay with them. I always tell all my agents, add me to your account. That way I can just go in there and look at it. You can send me an email. I can fix it really easily and move on, but totally going to be from region to region. All right, so when you click on that account access, it's going to take you to the screen. You can either see my account access, so you can see who already has access to your account, or you can click other account access. You'll want to select that to add a user. And then you'll go ahead and search for that person. So if you were searching for me, you would search for Brittany
Okay.
Moulton, and that would come up,
Hi.
and then you would just, there's a little bit of echo.
Hold on. I'm trying to follow you,
Yeah.
but I think I'm lost here.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm on the right. Oops. I don't know if I can convert my camera. Okay. So I'm in Moxie Works right now,
Uh-huh.
and this is what it looks like.
Uh-huh.
Where do I go? Where present, engage, my website,
So on the
impress,
left-hand side, we're just talking about the account access settings right there. So account settings right there with the little
account
key.
settings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then account
Okay.
access.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so
Okay.
now other accounts. Okay. Yes,
Yep. So then you can go ahead and search for the person that you want to add. If they don't come up, it just means they don't have a profile. So if it is like an assistant, maybe they haven't gained access to Moxie. But if it's another agent or it's a person like myself, they should come up and you should be able to invite them to your account. So once you've done that, they should have access. They'll get an email, and then they'll either accept the access or deny the access. And then they should have access to your account.
So what my account access to other account access, what's the difference? Control access to other accounts. What other accounts?
Okay, so that's this screen right here. So on the left-hand
Yes.
side, your account access would show you who you have access to, and then other account access is going to be if you want to add people to your account.
Okay. Got it.
All right. So how do I switch to another user if I need to go into someone else's collaboration? So here in the collaboration, once the user has granted you permission, select the agent drop-down menu in the top left corner and select switch user. You should see that. So let me go live in here just to kind of show you what this looks like. I said I was going to wait till the end, but I think that this is important for me to kind of show you live. So let me go into Moxi. So here's Moxi Works. Actually, I already have it open. So once you've given people access, this is a great reason why I'm glad that I have this. I have one pending waiting for me. So if I click this and click account access, I have somebody inviting me to my one pending so I can manage the pending and see who has invited me. So this person has invited me. I can either decline them or accept. Once I accept Brent's invite, I should be able to now ghost into his account. So how would I do that? Over here at the top right, underneath my picture, if I click switch user, it'll now let me become Brent Huff. So if you want to have somebody's access, that's how you would get it, is like giving it to them, and then also you can accept it here as well. Hopefully that answers all those questions. Okay, let me go back to my, oops. Let me go, lost my place here now. Hold please. Slideshow from current slideshow. Okay, so let's now go into the initial setup in sync for Moxi. So great question that you just asked. I can't see your name, so I apologize, but she was asking where we are. That was just on the initial Moxi Works when you click on the tile. We're now going to get into what's called Moxi Engage. So up at the top of Moxi, you have a blue bar, and you have 4 programs within one. You have Present, Engage, My Website, and Impress. So remember, Present is what we've had for a while. If you're new to CB, it's your listing presentations. You have Engage, which we're talking about today. And how I like to remember Engage is we engage with clients. So this is our Engage platform. So we're going to engage with people via email marketing as well as adding our sphere. You have My Website. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's your website. And then you have Impress. Think of Impress as we are going to impress the clients. It's going to be your marketing center where you get all your marketing pieces. So we're going to talk about the initial setup and how to contact sync. So the initial setup, if you've never clicked on Moxi Engage before, this is the screen that you're going to see. If you've already set up Moxi Engage, meaning you've already set up your email, you've already set up your goals, just hang tight for a minute. We'll get into the rest. But this is if you've never set up Moxi Engage before, your first screen is going to ask you this. It's going to say Moxi Engage Setup, and it's going to ask you which email provider would you like to use. It gives you 2 options. Option A, your CB Realty Outlook email. Option 2, a Gmail email. There's benefits to both, and there's a con to your Gmail. Your CB Realty email is protected through Coldwell Banker. So God forbid if something was to ever happen, it's connected to Moxi Engage and it's connected to CB. We can always get back in, right? And it always covers your butt. Option 2, Gmail is great if you have a ton of contacts, or if you have jumped around brokerage to brokerage, or you have a ton of contacts already in Gmail. Set up your Gmail. If you use your Gmail more than you use your CB Realty email, set up your Gmail. You're going to have to make that decision based on you, yourself, and your business. I can't sway you either way. I would say that we highly encourage you to use your CB Realty email because it is backed by the company, but I can't tell you one way or the other. Just make a risk analysis for yourself. Step 2, once you've created that email, decided if you're going to do your Gmail or your Outlook, it's going to ask you for your 2020 goal. I know it sounds stupid. We're about to be done with 2022. We got like 25 days left, but it wants you to put in a goal to move forward. And then it's also going to ask you once you sign in for your new 2023 goals. So go ahead and set your GCI goal. This is what you want to make as an agent for your gross commission income. Then it's going to ask you if you want to migrate your data. So this is for my seasoned agents who have had either Zap or InTouch or both. So Zap is our relo. We use Zap a lot for our relocation. We had a lot of relocation leads up here in Northwest Florida. So if you had Zap and you use Zap more, then I would choose Zap. If you had Market Leader InTouch, where you had contacts in there, if you check this box, it's going to bring all your contacts over from Market Leader. If you don't have either one of those, then you're going to just say, please don't bring any of my CRM data over, and press go. Or you can skip for now. Skipping for now just means that you haven't made a decision. Maybe you have contacts in Zap and Market Leader and you want to decide which one you have more in. Maybe it's more of a benefit for you to go into Zap, export those contacts, and you have like tons in Market Leader. It's going to be a person by person case. If you don't have contacts in either one of these programs, then you can skip for now or press please do not bring any of my CRM data over and press go. Data migration continued on this slide. So there's 3 options for migration. We talked about it. Migrate contacts from InTouch or Zap right now, so it will migrate. It does take about 24 to 48 hours depending on how many contacts you have. So if you have tons of contacts, just be patient with it. It'll take a little while. You can skip for later and migrate later when it comes time for you to make a decision, or you can opt out. You don't have to add any of your contacts. Maybe they're all dead leads, or maybe you don't have any in those systems. That's an option as well. Additional notes, it does say migration takes 30 to 60 minutes. I will tell you it's taken up to 2 days for some of my agents, so just be patient. It will let you know when it's done. One-time process, so you cannot migrate twice. So you can't choose Zap and InTouch. It's one or the other. So weigh your pros and cons. If you have more contacts in InTouch, I say do InTouch. If you have more contacts in Zap, do Zap. Can I only migrate from Zap or InTouch, meaning that it can only migrate from these 2 systems. So if you have another CRM that you use currently, it cannot link to that. You can still access InTouch after migration. This says till June 30th. We are past June 30th. The only way you would be able to access your InTouch account is if you are paying for InTouch Pro. So you will not be able to access InTouch unless you're paying for Pro. Contacts will not duplicate if they match one another exactly. I will say we did have some problems with duplicating when we were doing this early on. So if you see some duplicates, you're going to have to go in there and edit them. Also, it was migrating some of our agents' phone database. So if you see some contacts that were in your phone, just beware. It can also migrate your phone data, your phone contacts. So here's an option 2 for contact upload, and we're going to get into this live, but there is a way for you to add a spreadsheet of contacts. So if you go into Zap or somewhere else and you have a Excel spreadsheet, you can actually upload that spreadsheet in here to Moxi Engage. You're going to go to the people function, my people, settings, import. You can see they're kind of doing it right now, but we're going to go live into this. So I just wanted to kind of show you this, and then I'll touch on this again. So don't fret if your contacts are on a spreadsheet, if you came from another brokerage and you have them all, or if you are using a notebook and we need to digitize them, that's a possibility too. So just don't fret, we can always upload a spreadsheet as well. So there's settings and features here in Moxi Engage. So we can manage all settings and features under these tabs. So I really kind of want to go live with some of these features, but when we are in the Moxi Engage, we can edit the features. So we can go in there and we can change things. So we can add our Zillow. We can actually merge that. There's under people, there's leads, task manager, groups, calendar, special dates, notifications, emails.
Brittany?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have another question. So
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have a Zap or InTouch or a spreadsheet in Excel. So I have it in my notebook pretty much, or in my phone, right?
Yep.
So how I'll just have to add it manually, just add people. That's all I have to do. Okay.
And I'll show you when we go live how you can add a person.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are not alone. I promise you. I've sat with a lot of agents that have them everywhere, and notebooks, on files, on boards, all over. It's like hunting for Christmas presents. It's awesome. So this is what we're going to do for preference. I'm going to go into this more in depth live. Let's talk about your agent dashboard. I feel like this slide should have been before that previous one, but when you drop into Moxi Engage, you're going to see these options. You're going to see dashboard, people, calendar, goals, and campaigns. Your dashboard is your home page. This is where you're going to access all your main widgets, is what they call them. People is going to be your overview with all your people, where we can add them to groups, where we can go into them. We can set them up on campaigns there. If you already have campaigns set up, we can do bulk actions in people. Your calendar is going to sync with whatever email that you synced. So if you chose your Outlook email, it's syncing with your Outlook email. If you chose your Gmail email, it's going to sync with your Gmail and vice versa. So anything you add to this calendar here is going to sync to your Gmail or your Outlook calendar. Goals, track your GCI goal. So you can actually go in there and see the rate of closing. You can see the percentage you're at to your goal. You can see the actions that you need to take to get to your goal. Campaigns is going to be view and set up email campaigns, listing announcements, e-blasts, and so forth. So when we click on dashboard, this is what we call your dashboard, right? So this is what you're going to see. You're going to see good afternoon. This is Amy. My name is Brittany. So mine would say good afternoon, Brittany. The stay in flow is going to show you right at the beginning right here. It's probably going to show you some people that you need to reach out to, and we're going to go into that more in depth. But basically what you're going to see on this dashboard is a stay in flow, an activity feed, which is going to show you everything that you've done, either adding people to campaigns or people opening up emails or any activity that you've done here in Engage. You'll have a to-do list that you can edit. It'll give you some to-do lists for you to do, but you can also add your own. You'll see your calendar, so it keeps you nice and organized. You'll see sales flow, which will show you your sales flow, your goals, and your listings. So these are all movable, so you can actually move them up and down. So if you're a numbers person and you want to see your goals first thing, front and center, you can move that up, or you can keep your stay in flow. It's really easy to move them on the right-hand side where you see these red circles. You'll just drag them and you can change the order that they're in. So agent dashboard part 2 summary. So your stay in flow will display 5 contacts each day to connect with. These are going to be contacts either that you haven't touched in a long time. Maybe they're new contacts, or maybe they have overdue things that you need to contact, but it's going to keep them top of mind for you to touch 5 people each day. If you don't have any contacts in here, it's not going to show you any contacts, okay? So make sure you put your contacts in here so it can show you contacts. Activity feed displays recent activity in your sphere, any activity that has been generated through your interactions with people, i.e. if you've set them up on a campaign, if they've opened that email that you've sent them, if they've been on your website, if they've created a search, things like that. Your to-do list displays your personal tasks, so any client transaction tasks to keep you on track or any tasks that you add. So think of it like a CRM is only as good as if you're going to use it, right? You'll hear agents will ask all the time, like, what's the best CRM that you use? And the funny joke is always the CRM that you use. Well, it's true. If you're not going to use the CRM, it's not going to do what you need it to do for it. You're going to get as much as you put into it. If you continue to work at it and you continue to use this to keep you organized, the better your business is going to be. Your calendar displays your scheduled tasks, events, and appointments for the day. You can also add on their house anniversaries, and special dates if you need to. I'll tell you a quick story because I'm a storyteller. One of my coworkers here told me that what he used to do when he sold homes to families, so if they had kids, like young kids, he would put the young kids' birthdays on his calendar and send them like $1 for their birthday and a handwritten card and just say like, happy birthday, Greg, I hope it's a great day. Go get an ice cream on me. Let me tell you, if somebody did that and remembered my kid's birthday, you would be my agent for life, right? So that might not work for everybody, but just a little sidebar for you, a great way to use your calendar. Your sales flow is going to display your current progress towards your transaction, and it's going to be made up of a series of zones, which each of them represents a milestone. So what that means is we're going to put people in different buckets. So there's a marketing, prospect, actives, and pendings. Each zones displays total number of contacts and transactions in each. So as we go through your contacts and we put them on campaigns and we decide if they are a personal contact or an actual client, it's going to bucket them into these different activities. So I'll show you how to do that. Goals completion is going to display your GCI goal for the current year and your progress towards your goal and the percentage of the total. Your listing is going to display all your current listings and sold listings associated with your account. If you're not seeing your listings in there, you will have to put in a Moxi ticket. Maybe, Daniel, if you could put the Moxi Help Center, if you haven't already, in the chat, if anyone has any questions or needs to submit a ticket, that's the best way to do it.
Will do.
Thank you. Sorry, I got to take a drink before I die. The stay in flow. So this is the sales flow. It's going to move the sales flow, daily outreach, and stay in flow. So we're going to go into the stay in flow. So the sales flow is your marketing zone, people to target with the goal of staying top of mind, may have real estate needs in the future. So marketing zone means you just want to keep them on drip campaigns. They're people that maybe are long-term buyers or sellers, or they're people you just want to keep top of mind. Prospect zone, these are going to be people who have expressed interest in working with you in the next 12 months. So these are people that are active, right? Then you'll have active zone. These are really, really active, meaning they've given you criteria. You know where they are looking for, what zip codes, what criteria they have. Pending zone, people who have accepted an offer on a property and are moving towards closing. So you can see there's different zones. So we want to keep them in the correct zones to keep you organized. Move your client's transaction through the zones of the sales flow until you're ready to close them. So your first step is going to make them a prospect. Then you're going to complete the prospect zone tasks, and I'll show you that. Then you're going to move them to the active zone and complete the active zone tasks. Then you're going to move them to the pending zone and complete the pending zone task and transaction in all its details. Then step 5 is you're going to close the transaction and they will be a closed person. So we'll walk through this live. I know this looks weird on a PowerPoint. So daily outreach. So this stay and flow. Why is this important? This is super important, right? If anyone talks to anyone in real estate, what will they tell you? They're constantly prospecting. You should be talking to at least 5 people a day. I will say you should be adding 2 new contacts to your database every single day. Be that at the grocery store, the event that you're at, cold calling, however you do it, you should be adding people to your database every single day. So this is going to help you stay in touch with them. So staying connected with your sphere by contacting 5 people each day. These people are shown based on recently that you've communicated with them. Either you've added them recently to your database or maybe you've communicated with them recently. Ways to stay connected with them. So if you see right here in the stay and flow, we've got Alice J. So she's in marketing prospects. So I can either reach out to her by email, call, add her to a neighborhood news or a campaign. So, or I can skip. So maybe I've already talked to Alice. Maybe I've texted her, right? I can skip it or I can mark it as done. You don't have to do this. This isn't required. This is just keeping you organized and keeping you really on top of your clients. So these are all suggestions, right? Again, the more you put into this, the better your business is going to be. Other than options for daily outreach, the stay and flow, you can skip a name, mark as done, or the gear icon. So the gear icon is actually going to show you your like what you want to see in your stay and flow. So who you want to see in your stay and flow. And we're going to show this in real time. So daily outreach, stay and flow, adjust settings to control and set. So that gear shift right there. So when you click that gear shift, this is what you're going to see. So in the cadence, you can choose how long someone has been out of touch before they surface into the stay and flow. So you can make it 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. So every 90 days, you'll see Alice J, or I could change it to every 30 days, I'll see Alice J. So I can also surface these people. I can surface my pending, past seller, uncategorized, active, past buyer, personal, collaborator, leads, prospects, marketing, and new. Or you can uncheck those depending on what you're wanting to see in your stay and flow right there. Your sphere of influence. These are your people. These are the people that like, know, and trust you and that work with you because you're amazing, right? So these are the people that need to be in your contact database. And I'm talking about like Cousin Sue in Minnesota that always forgets you're a realtor and can give you some referral business needs to be in your database so that you send Cousin Sue a holiday card every holiday and she remembers, hey, Brittany is a real estate agent, can help me with my real estate needs. Keep these people in your sphere. These are the people that like, know, and trust you. There's something about you that you probably have a commonality with them, or you've worked with them in the past, or they're related to you, or you know them. These are your sphere. So managing contacts, save searches, track special dates. Your sphere of influence can also be anybody in your farming area too. When you think of your sphere of influence, I want you to think of the people that like, know, and trust you, as well as your farm area, as well as all the contacts that you're having, your prospects and your leads. So moving forward, so we just talked about dashboard on Moxi Engage. We're now clicking on the people up there at the top. This is people, my people. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see people in here. If you got nobody in here, let's work on that. Okay. So to answer your question, how do I add a new person one-on-one? You're going to click that blue add people button and you can add someone one by one. There's a lot of information in there that you can add. You don't have to have it all. You need phone number, email address, and name to move forward. But it gives you a lot of other options. It gives you special dates. It gives you social media links. It gives you address, spouse, associated other email. There's a lot of things in that contact that you might not have, and that's okay. Just make sure you have their email address and their first and last name at minimum. Okay, we can edit groups here by clicking on edit groups. It will allow us to change the name of the groups or to add different groups. So if you just want to add a farm area, maybe you're farming in Destin, Florida, and you want to add Destin, Florida group and put all your people that are in your farm area in there, you can. Or maybe they're coworkers or family members or partners, strategic partners. You can sort them by first name and last name. So if you're looking for your page to be by first name, you can have them by first name or last name. You can also search for a specific person right here in this search bar, and we'll go through this live. This is when we click into a person. So when I click into a person's account, this is what it's going to look like. So this is Amy Lerner. So this is where I'm going to want to change her from a client or a non-client. This is where I'm going to bucket her into her prospective category. So if Amy's a client, if I click on client, it's going to ask if she's a prospector, like a prospect, or a buying or selling client. So you'll have to choose which one she is. If she's a non-client, is she a family member, personal, or partner? A partner would be like a title company or a lender, all your strategic partners, right? You're going to have contact info right here. You can always edit the contact info. So if you want to add more, as you learn more about Amy, you could add more. You'll have notes. So if you want to add notes like met Amy at the festival, she's looking for a home in Destin, right? You'll have activity. So any activity that she's done on your account or that you've done on her account. So if you've sent her up on an email campaign or if she's opened one, you'll see that in the activity. You'll see subscriptions. So subscriptions, you have two options under subscriptions. You have neighborhood news. Neighborhood news goes out once a month. It's a comprehensive neighborhood report of a specific area that you choose, either a zip code or wow, now I can't talk. Or a specific geological area that you put in, meaning that it'll talk about that area. So it'll give you like days on market, trends, homes that have sold, what's going on in that area. And that's a once a month subscription that they get in that area. The other subscription that you can add them to is listing announcements. And we'll go into that when I come in here live. We can also add them to groups here. So we can add Amy Lerner into my Destin group if I wanted to. Categorize
So
and group.
I can't see any of that because I don't have any people added yet, correct?
Add yourself. Yeah, add yourself and play around with it. That's what I did. I have myself. You'll see when I go live, it's just me. And then that way I'm playing around with myself so I don't send anyone anything random. Put yourself in there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, good question. All right, so select the edit groups to add and manage the group. So here's where you can either delete groups that you don't want, or you can add a different group to start bucketing them. The categorize wizard to put a contact in a certain category that will transfer over to your sales flow. So we'll click on that here in just a moment, live. Here are the contact categories. So there's past and current clients. This is what I was talking about when you were going to choose client, or if you're going to choose personal. So the client's going to like this. These are the ones that you can choose. You can either put them as a seller prospect, a buyer prospect, or just put a marketing plan on them because they're like a prospect. If they were a personal contact, they would be either personal, collaborator, or you can remove them from Engage. So marketing plan is marketing zone and stay in flow. Seller prospect, prospect zone and stay in flow. Buyer prospect, prospect zone and stay in flow. Personal will be in stay in flow. Collaborator will stay in flow. Remove from Engage, remove from Moxi Engage. So this is going to put them in different zones here. And this is just going to keep them in your stay in flow, but not put them on zones. We'll talk about that more in depth. Okay, add track special dates. So we kind of touched on this just a little bit, but you can actually add special dates here when you're in the person. So if you're adding a person, just like we were kind of talking about, or you can edit the person, you can add special dates. So you can add birthdays, anniversary, house anniversary, or customs. And then they will add to your calendar as well as your Outlook calendar. Another cool feature that we have in Florida, and I think we have it in all of ours, but there's a link when it's somebody's anniversary. It'll link you to a paid partnership that we have with a company that will actually send the present for you. So it makes it really easy for you to like send a gift if you want to for a house anniversary. And I'll show you how to do that. Stay top of mind. Sign up for the Moxi 102 class to find out about campaigns. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to go live here. But here's some resources for you. Don't forget to also check out the Moxi Tile on desk for self-paced training guides, review the quick start guides, and take your Moxi 102 learning class. So let me go live. Daniel, is there any questions I need to answer before I go live?
There are no questions. There's one that I think I answered, but are you familiar with .loop and whether or
Yeah.
not does it sync with Moxi Engage?
It does not.
I didn't think so. And Outlook 365 and Gmail from what I recall.
Yeah, .loop doesn't sync, but as long as you're adding them to a transaction, which I'm going to show you right now, it should add them to like the paperwork, and I'll show you how to do that as long as you're using your My Deals. All right, so let me go into Engage Live.
We do have a question. Someone's asking, can we add leads to agents Moxi Engage on our teams through Moxi? Oh, can we add leads?
Can we expand on that? I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm trying to read myself.
Sorry, I forgot to English. I was wondering, can we actually like give leads to agents on our teams through Moxi and regulate that basically?
Yeah, so what you're going to have to do is at the beginning when I told you about the account access, you're going to have to give each other account access. And there's actually like a team dashboard that you can put in here. And then you can drop like leads. There's no way to like funnel them in, if that makes sense. You'll have to actually manually go in there and put it in that team. So like, let's just pretend you're the team leader and you get a lead and you want to go into my account. You'll go into my account, add a person and say lead added on this day or whatever, and you can monitor it that way. Does that make sense?
Like 50% makes sense, yeah.
50% makes sense. Okay. So what you would have to do is back here when we were in the roster is give access to the team lead or whoever's going to be accessing these leads in here in the account settings. And then you can go into the person's engage and just add the lead in there. There's no way to like funnel it through, if that makes sense. So if you get it from like Zillow or whatever, there's no way to just like funnel it into that person's account. You have to manually add it.
Okay, I see what you mean. So I have access to their accounts, but I have to switch profiles, go into their engage, and then add the lead.
Yeah.
And there's no way for me to just hit a button and it funnels
No.
through. I have to like manually add it to them.
Right now, yes. I know that we have more team capabilities that we're trying to work through Moxi, but at the moment, that's the only way.
And you mentioned something about a team dashboard. Is there a setting I would need to activate to see that?
So I saw that there was a team dashboard. Daniel, can you help me out? Do you have anyone that has a team dashboard, or is that to come? Is that something I saw and just coming?
I can't recall if anyone that I currently work with a team dashboard. I know there's a manager mode, and
Yeah.
that's usually with the office manager. So I'm not entirely sure if you're an assistant or you're managing a team yourself, that gives you access to your team, meaning you're a team of 5 agents that work with you under your umbrella.
Yeah,
So it's a good question.
let me circle back to that. Can I put my email in the chat? Will you send me an email and I'll get you an answer?
Yeah, I'll follow up with you
Because
later.
I can't remember if that's something I saw that's live or if that's something I saw in like CB briefs that's coming. Sometimes I put those things into fruition before they even come to fruition, you know? I'm very wishful.
Manifestation.
Yeah. And by the way, I do have the Moxi support link in the chat window. So if anybody has any questions in the future, or if you want to submit a support ticket, you can easily do so by creating an account and just submitting your support ticket that you have a request for.
Yep. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Okay, let me get back in here real quick because we're running out of time. So here is my state and flow. So I have one person in here that's coming up because I don't have anyone in my state and flow. But if I wanted to reach out to Cindy, I could either click this reach out and email her. So I could send her a quick email I could sign her up for neighborhood news, or if I had campaigns set up, which is in Moxi 102, I could add her to a campaign, an existing campaign I've already created. Again, you can move these by just clicking and dragging to show the different types of widgets. So I have mine set up for my stay and flow and then my goals. I'm at a big fat goose egg for my goals. Very sad day. My activity feed's going to show me everything that's going on. So you can see right now that I opened a saved search for Pensacola Beach, Florida, and showing you the time that I opened it. So once you start adding people to campaigns, you'll start seeing activity. Here's your to-do list. So you can add your own tasks, or there are transaction tasks. So once the person is attached to a transaction, there will be tasks like go to the pre-listing appointment, make sure you order the this and that. Like, it'll have steps for you to keep you organized once they're assigned to a transaction. I don't have anyone on a transaction because I'm not licensed. Here's your sales flow we were talking about. As you market to people and add them in the different buckets, they're going to show up here. So it'll show you have 1 person in marketing, 0 people in prospects, actives, and pendings. Here's my calendar. So my calendar is pulling in from Outlook. And then my listings. I'm not an agent, so I don't have any active, pending, or sold listings, but they would show up here if I did have them. So let me pop into people, my people, because that's where most of the questions I know are going to lie. So let's go to people, my people. So I can add a person quickly right here, but we did not really talk about like adding person, that list. I showed you briefly, but I wanted to show you in real time. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet that you want to add to your Moxi Engage, you're going to go up to here to this little gear shift, and you're going to import contacts right here. They have an example CSV template that Moxi really likes. So I would recommend that you download this Excel file and merge your Excel file into this one that they like. It just will help you with easing of importing. So right here, you'll have your headers, and you'll just merge your Excel spreadsheet into this one and save it to your desktop. Once you have that done, you'll just select a file and upload your list. So if you migrated any of your contacts over from InTouch or Zap, you'll see how many contacts migrated over by looking right here at people. It'll show you how many people you have in here. If I wanted to do like a bulk action, I can select all of my people and I can add them to a group. So I can add them to a specific group. I can add them to an existing campaign. I can add them to neighborhood news, listing announcements, and I can also add them to past seller, past buyer, personal, or collaborator. So if you wanted to come and do bulk actions, you can, instead of going into each person. I can also remove them from Engage right here. And I can also export. So a lot of people, ask me, hey, Brittany, I don't want all my contacts in here and you having them forever. You can always at any time export your contacts into a CSV Excel file, mailing labels. So if you wanted to do Christmas cards or custom express, so you have some abilities to export your contacts too. They're not stuck in here. You can search for somebody right here in this bar to find someone in a quick overview. I can edit my groups right here. So I can create a new group or I can delete a group. And then under filters here, it just filters who's in my sales flow. All right, let me go into a person so I can really get into the nitty gritty with you. Okay, so I can add Brittany to a transaction. So if she's in a transaction already, if she's a buyer or a seller, and then the MLS number that's current, I can go ahead and add myself to a transaction if I have an active transaction with that person. It'll link their transaction. I can also change Brittany to a client or a non-client. So if she's a client, she's either qualifying as a lead, she's a seller prospect, or a buyer. I can also change Brittany to a non-client and either put her as personal or collaborator. Under notes, I can add notes about where I found her from. The activity is going to show you any activity that you have for her or that you've done with her. And then you can also create custom activities. So like if you decided to send her a text message and you wanted to log that here, you could do that as well. Faves and saves. This is kind of getting into Moxi 102, but this is where you can add people on saved searches. So if they're looking for specific criteria, looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a specific location, you can add them to a saved search here. And you can add them to multiple ones. So you can see Brittany's on Brittany's home search, Brittany's dream home, Brittany's dream home 2. You can add multiple searches here by just clicking add new save search. I don't want to get into this too much because this is Moxi 102, but that's how you would add a search. I can add Brittany to subscriptions. So I already have her added to listing announcements, but I can add her to neighborhood news. That's that once a month comprehensive report that goes out about that area. She's already on 2 subscriptions. This is also going into Moxi 102, so I'm gonna keep going. And then I can also add her into groups. So let me close this. I can add her into groups right here by editing what group she's in. So she's in tool time training. I can add her to the other ones if I want to as well. And then if I want to remove her from Engage, I can. And then I can also send a copy of her profile to me as well, just to have it for my records. Let's go into her actual profile so I can show you about house anniversaries and birthdays. So here you can put, I told you there's a lot of things you can add here in the actual contact person. You can add phone numbers, email addresses, into instant messaging, relationships. So if I'm married, so I could put my husband here, any special dates that I want to remember, any personal profiles. So if I wanted to do like a date, I could do birthday, anniversary, house anniversary, or custom. Her social media. So if I want to follow her on social media and make sure I'm keeping up with her, I can do that. And then again, I can designate her as a collaborator or a prospect here. Okay, I feel like I've talked a lot, so I'm going to see if there's any other questions in the chat or anything else, Daniel.
There are no questions in the chat, Brittany. You did a
Does
great
anyone
job covering it.
Thank you. How can we link 2 people as spouse? I have a husband and a wife in here separately. So you would put them in that spouse relationship. The problem is when you do that right now, they're both not going to get the email. So if you set them up as a campaign, only one person's going to get the email. So I would have them as separate contacts so they both get set up on campaigns, if that makes sense. But you can add them in there as a spouse in the person.
So if I select relationship spouse, it's not my spouse, it's their spouses.
Correct.
And
Correct.
does it pop up and give me an option to basically select the profile or?
Nope, you have to add it in manually.
Okay.
It's getting smarter. We're getting there. There's like I said, Moxi is evolving and we're constantly trying to make good additions. Let me stop sharing my screen so you guys don't have to look at the screen of my sharing of you guys. We're constantly trying to evolve that. So that is in as a ticket as well.
Yeah, and to your point, Brittany, the Moxi team is hearing and seeing the different product enhancements that we were requesting, and they're making adjustments on the fly. So it's one of those ever evolving product molding into what we need as a real estate agent to be successful. So thankfully they are listening.
Yep, good point, Daniel.
Is there an auto dialer as well or something that I can send text messages through that's included, or is it an additional subscription?
There is an auto dialer. It's an additional subscription. It's called that Way Wawa. Do you have that on yours when you're in the People My People? Do you see like Wawa?
Yeah, the Wave. I don't know if I
Yeah.
see Wawa, but
Yeah, I think it's Wave.
Wave. I call it Wawa. You know.
It looks like Wawa. Yeah, and that is.
There's
do we
no
know?
texting though. It's more phone calling from there.
And does it allow us to pre-record voicemails?
No, not that I'm aware of. Daniel, do you know?
I'm sorry, what was the question? My
Can
phone
you
was just
pre-record
ringing.
voicemails through that?
Not that I'm aware of, but again, these things could be on the roadmap. And if these are product enhancements that you wish to see in the future, you can always submit that as a product request through the Moxi link that I had sent to everyone. It is one of those things I think are very good enhancements, and they're good requests to make. And if they can do it, they'll do it. If they can't, they'll at least be honest and say, we can't do it now, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
So I noticed that we have a 3-day trial. Do we get a discount as CB agents for the subscription with Wave?
Yes. Just give them a call. Let them know they have a partnership with us. Any questions?
So
Any-
Moxi Engage is free. It's just that Wawa automated text messaging option is additional charge, correct?
Correct. Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Any other questions?
I guess it's not something related to Moxi Engage, but how do I transfer my contacts to just like a spreadsheet in Excel? I guess
So I
it's
would download that one I showed you, the Moxley file that when you go into your people, my people, and you go to import, I would download that Excel template, the one I showed you, and I would work off of that. So then I would maybe 5 a day, I would go in there and enter their names. Give yourself a goal of every day you're going to enter 5 onto that spreadsheet. And once you have that spreadsheet completed, then you can upload it to Moxie.
well, I can just do it at Moxi right away then.
You can. Yep.
Okay.
But then it's on one nice Excel spreadsheet, but you could also export and put it on one nice Excel spreadsheet. So yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. And then calendar goals. Looks understandable now.
Good. I'm glad. Hopefully somebody got something out of this class today. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'll take a look at them. I put my email in the chat as well. So if you want to reach out to me, you can. You also have a field marketing specialist in your area. So keep an eye out to reach out to them if you need a one-on-one. Thank you guys for joining my class, and I hope you have happy holidays, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Thank you.
Great job, Brittany. Fantastic.
Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate everyone. Have a great holiday. We'll stay tuned for 102.
Thank you guys.